Walk on red shirts on the road, complete. We are here in Kansas. Not the best result for Kansas. Kansas State absolutely dominates today. Wins 42-17. Avery Johnson just has an absolute day.
Yeah, he's been at Kansas State for 8 years now. It seems
Feels like he's been there forever.
The fact that he was surgical with that offense makes sense. He's probably a surgeon by now with how much school he's had.
He gets a lot of grief for not being able to throw the ball, but he was 11 of 17 today. I think it was 231 through the air, and a lot of his passes, especially the 2 touchdown passes, were incredible. The one down the sideline to Chase Brown, the other one in the end zone. The 27-yarder was beautiful.
It was
beautiful.
Well, and don't forget about the pass. I think it was a 40-yard pass, triple coverage, underthrows it purposefully for Chase Brown to make a big catch down here to get their first score. And Jake, the way the game started, I thought Kansas was about to lay it on them. Opening kickoff, they fumble it, and Kansas goes in and scores in an ugly way. Might not have been a touchdown.
Yeah, definitely a little iffy. The opening play, the kickoff, you fumble it. Kansas, they're favored for the first time in however many years, hasn't won in 16 years. You think that, okay, hey, it's happening. It's going to happen with Kansas being able to finally win. And really, after that drive, Kansas State dominated.
Yeah, the offense for Kansas just was lackluster. It looked like Jalon Daniels was playing off time, out of rhythm. They could run the ball fairly well. Daniel Heishel had a pretty good game, had a touchdown to end the half right here where we're standing, where he fought off at least 45 different people to get into the end zone. He looked like somebody trying to get into the club because they lost their phone, and no bouncer was going to keep him out of there. It was phenomenal. But the passing attack for Kansas just wasn't. There was opportunities. It's not like Kansas State's defense was stopping the receivers.
Correct.
Jalen Daniels just wasn't quite able to cap off the opportunities. And then you talk about pass rush. Kansas had no pass rush.
No,
Kansas State had a relentless pass rush. So hats off to the Wildcats for really, really just laying it on them, and for the 17th straight time.
Well, and I think the biggest turning point was Kansas muffing the punt down here on this end of the field.
They muffed the punt, or they dropped the snap.
It was just like a drop snap on a punt, and Kansas State picks the ball up, returns it for a touchdown, makes it 21-7. And I think Kansas State still was going to find a way to win, but at that point, you're talking about a momentum-changing play that, it goes from 14-7 to set 21-7 in the blink of an eye, and you weren't expecting a score on that drive.
Yeah.
I think one thing for Jalon Daniels is he struggled a lot with accuracy today. Struggled a ton with accuracy. There were a lot of deep balls where he had guys, on the far end zone here from us. He had a guy in the first quarter that he was throwing it deep, and he overthrew him by about 5 yards.
Yeah. Cam Pickett was open a few times. There was one play, I believe it was to Emmanuel Henderson, where he has him. He throws it. He tries to throw it outside towards the boundary, to get his guy to be open because there was a safety coming across the middle from the field, and just drifts it off a little bit too far to the outside. Throws incomplete, and then just missed opportunities like you were talking about on this throw right here over into the into the end zone, where overthrows it, throws it out the back of the end zone where the guy has the opportunity to make a catch. A couple of questionable no calls on DPIs, but Jake, at the end of the day, man, the refs didn't cost them this.
No,
they shot themselves in the foot.
No, it was miscues all around, and Kansas State's just having a very great defensive game plan.
Yeah.
That it felt like Jalon Daniels was running for his life. They were credited with 4 sacks. There probably should have been another 2 or 3, but Jalon Daniels evaded some defenders. Yeah. There was one where he got the ball out as a throw, kind of like a push pass, and realistically, he should have been sacked on that play. They called it incomplete, but there was no business in getting that ball out of his hand.
The Ministry of Witchcraft and Wizardry are going to come check on Jalon Daniels to see if he's actually a wizard walking around with us muggles who can't cast spells, because that was how he got that out of there was unbelievable.
Not a clue.
It has to be magic. It has to be magic.
Not a clue.
Just before we're all completely negative, this place is phenomenal. Beautiful football field, if you can see it back here. Mammoth did an amazing job building it. The wheat in the end zone, waving the wheat is such a cool thing that they do when they score tradition. The place was pretty loud for only 41,000 people being here. It was fairly loud. The Kansas student section was unbelievable. There's a bunch of Kansas State people here too. I mean, it was just a phenomenal environment. Who says they don't play good football in Kansas?
They do. I mean, they do. And I mean, the whole weekend for us, we got to meet with Coach Leipold yesterday. I got a chance to talk to him for, a good 5 or 10 minutes. Be honest, we didn't talk game plan with him, just kind of did some catch up with him.
He did talk game plan with me about Clemson.
He did talk game plan.
Throw a little jab on me.
Did throw a little jab at William here, and did throw a little jab at William about, what is Clemson doing right now.
That's right. That's probably payback for saying I was going to get naked in their spa.
You think about Kansas State, both are now 4-4.
Yeah. And
it's a tale of two very different seasons between the two. Kansas State was 1-3 at one point. Now they're 4-4.
Yeah.
Looking ahead, they have Colorado, Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, and Utah, which 2 of those games they should be favored in. They should be favored in Oklahoma State for sure. They'll probably blow out Oklahoma State, and they probably will be favored against Colorado. Utah and Texas Tech are not going to be easy games by any means. A path to a bowl game is for sure there for a team that looked like they were dead.
I mean, they go into Dublin, they beat Iowa State, right? And we're like, okay, Kansas State's here to stay. And then
Iowa State won that game.
You're right. Iowa State wins that game. Sorry. They struggled to North Dakota. They beat them by 3 points, I believe it was.
They lose to Army.
They lose to Army. They turn around and they beat who was it? It doesn't matter. But then they play TCU last week and they stone them.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like they're starting to get their rhythm back, their mojo back. Kansas, opposite. They start off pretty hot and now starting to lose a little bit of mojo. I mean, the 2 biggest losses they had were Texas Tech in this game right here, and both of those were blowouts. So you got to hope the Jayhawks can turn around. I mean, Coach Leipold's built a phenomenal culture here. Obviously, we're a little biased, but he's built a phenomenal culture here, and you have to think this team's going to turn it around and get themselves back into bowl season.
Yeah, they also get Oklahoma State, but sorry, we are here when they're doing cleanup, so ignore everything around us. They also have Oklahoma State, but I believe they also have Utah and Iowa State and another strong
all winnable games. I mean, you talk about what Kansas State's bread and butter is. It's their running game.
Mm-hmm.
Avery Johnson did not run the ball that well. Dylan Edwards outside of the
Dylan Edwards didn't play.
Oh, excuse me. Who was for? You have to come back to me on that. But in the second half, outside of the fourth quarter where they're icing the game, whoever number 4 is at running back.
I know I'm blanking right now.
They weren't able to run the ball. I mean, Kansas pretty much held them in check. So outside of the big chunk plays, I mean, Kansas's defense wasn't terrible.
No.
The first drive, I mean, Kansas State had their way with them, but other than that, they kept Avery Johnson on his toes. He wasn't able to get out of the pocket like he wanted to, even though he had 2 rushing touchdowns. It doesn't seem like that statistically, but I think he only had 31 yards rushing.
I think it was even less than that.
Yeah.
I think he was 6 rushes for 17 yards. The thing is through the air, where I'm guessing the game plan was if he beats us through the air, he's going to beat us through the air. Like, we're going to take our chances.
Yeah.
Well, Avery Johnson had himself a day.
Yeah,
had himself an absolute day out here in some crappy weather. It was raining and kind of misting and, kind of on and off all afternoon. You would think that this would be a heavy run day, especially with the weather. And Avery Johnson said, nope, I'm good.
Well, probably after watching the first quarter with 3 fumbles in the first quarter, they're probably like, hey, maybe we don't run the football over and over again.
Yeah. And Kansas State's defense, they forced 4 turnovers in this game on top of the 4 sacks, 6 tackles for loss. I mean, Kansas State's defense got everything they wanted and more.
Outside of the very first play of the game where Kansas, fumbles the kickoff, they didn't turn the ball over the rest of the game. And number 1, you can't turn the ball over 4 times and expect to win. But number 2, when you lose the turnover margin by 3, it's going to be really difficult for the Jayhawks to be able to get anything done or anybody to get anything done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jake, did you have a good time?
Had a good time. Did you have a good time?
I had a great time. I will say this too. I'm not built for the press box.
No, William, we found out, is not built for the press box.
I spent a lot of time with the elevator valets, the elevator clerks, going up and down to come out into the concourse to watch the game with the people. May have found myself doing some of the tradition stuff here, but the press box is quiet, and I would get excited a couple of times. Jake would have to remind me, hey, William, we're not at a cow pasture watching a Clemson football game. You gotta quiet down a little bit. So I found myself amongst the people. Great people here in Kansas State fans, Kansas. I mean, we did a couple interviews that you're going to get.
There'll be some good content coming out from this. It's going to be some fun content from fans we got to see before the game.
Yeah, and overall, I mean, I think phenomenal atmosphere, phenomenal game. I would love to come back. But we might not be accepted back after this.
Yeah, the question is, does Coach allow us to come back? I mean, after this, were we bad luck? Now, granted, this is the 17th time. So who's been here 17 straight times? Because whoever it is, that Kansas needs to kick them out.
Yeah, they should be banned for life. Well, I think maybe Avery Johnson's been here 17 times.
Avery Johnson might have been on on the 2009 team. We don't know.
I think so.
We don't know. But anything else you want to add about this game?
No. Great beer, great people, great atmosphere.
Short
Quick
podcast here.
Short podcast. It's a quick recap of a phenomenal football game, a phenomenal trip. Hats off to Andy Eichel for taking care of us. Gage from Mammoth for taking good care of us. Lance Leipold, obviously coach, did a phenomenal job. Wanted to see us. Who picks us out and says, we want to see you? Coach Leipold does. So hats off to him. Phenomenal person. Hats off to Tim in the upper deck concourse for letting me stand next to him in some phenomenal seats. And then hats off to the Kansas State student reporters who are up there in the midst, right there under that K. They're up there in the midst of all these Kansas people reporting the game, doing play-by-play, and just
they were doing it from the stands.
They were doing it from the stands with the Kansas faithful all around them. So hats off to y'all. I don't know what your names are, but y'all did a phenomenal job, even though one of you cut me in line when I was trying to go pee.
Well, that does it for today here in Lawrence. We're going to go enjoy our evening here, go explore Lawrence a little bit more, go to a couple of local watering holes and see what
Johnny's. We have to go to Johnny's.
Apparently, we have to go to Johnny's. Everybody said Johnny's, so we're going to try that again. That being said, thanks for everybody for joining us. We'll be back again on Tuesday or Wednesday morning with our weekly recap.
We'll be back Tuesday. You'll hear us.
We'll be back.
Morning.